Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving the 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale TIE all-wheel drive. Up front is a 1.3 liter turbocharged inline 4 along with a plug-in hybrid system, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now I'm super excited to be driving this Tonale because not only is it my first time driving one, but this is a plug-in hybrid, which is going to be the future direction of Alfa Romeo. So I'm excited to sort of sample the direction in which this great Italian company is headed. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me, you can head on over to my website, zachpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 1.3 liter turbo paired to the plug-in hybrid system. Well, this is new. Well, the Tonale itself is all new, but you can find traditional gasoline engines here in the Tonale itself without the plug-in hybrid system. What this gets you, however, is 77 mpge, or 29 miles per gallon combined city and highway, and you can go 33 miles on just EV charge, which is pretty nice for a plug-in hybrid vehicle. That's about on par with the other Stellantis vehicles like the 4xEs. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's fine, it's doing the job. It's quiet, it's comfortable, and I don't have any more feelings about it. Last but not least about the drivetrain, this does have the all-wheel drive, so it is an all-wheel drive system, but it's partially powered by that electric motor and partially powered by the gas motor. So some very cool engineering going on underneath the Tonale. So how does it feel to actually drive? Well, I have driven the Dodge Hornet, which is the platform mate of the Tonale, a sibling if you will, and this feels a little bit more poignant, a little bit more directional, I guess. The steering's a little bit stiffer, the visibility is a little bit less from what I remember, but it is sporty, it's fun, and that's exactly what I would expect out of an Alfa Romeo Tonale. I think the gas Hornet that I drove, the GT, was a little bit more fun to drive. Could be because of the added weight of the battery pack here, or just the powertrain in general, but I think if you want the more fun driver, the Hornet is the way to go. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital cluster. I really like the look of this. I think it operates really well. I think the displays in current Alfa Romeos are actually really, really nice, and that carries on through here to the Tonale. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my steering assist and cruise control options. This does have adaptive cruise, as well as I'll find my start-stop button. This is an Alfa Romeo trait of having the start-stop buttons on the steering wheel. Might take you a second to find it if it's your first time. Off to the right, we do have our volume, pages, selectors, things like that. And the overall steering wheel is leather wrapped, has a little bit of perforated leather in it as well, and I really like the overall look and feel. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent and my headlight switches, gas cap release, gauge dimmer switches, things like that down below. And moving on to the door, I have 3 different levels of memory seats. Very hard to find in a vehicle this size of 3 levels. Lock and unlock, our speaker system, which is Harman Kardon, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have a smaller infotainment system than what you would find in other vehicles, and I like it. This is sort of Stellantis-y, so if you are accustomed to Dodge, Chrysler products, you will be able to use this pretty easily as well. And of course, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and one of my favorite things is that it gets a 360 camera. Absolutely love that. Then we have 2 climate control vents and the hazard switch, and down below we do have our air conditioning and heating options. Love this, very easily laid out, and it's not all ran through the screen. So if your screen doesn't boot up one morning, you can still adjust the climate controls while you are waiting to fix the screen. So I love seeing that in cars. We do get a 12-volt outlet, USB-C as well as USB-A chargers, and we have our drive modes select. So we have D, N, and A. D is going to be dynamic, N is going to be natural, and A is going to be basically eco. I forget what term they use, but basically a more eco-friendly setting. Then we do get a wireless charger down there. I love the fact that it does say Alfa Romeo on it. It sort of reminds you. And moving into the center, we have our shifter for that 6-speed automatic. Off to the right, we have a scroll wheel for the volume. Absolutely love this. Love this scroll wheel, and I love the placement of it. I naturally rest my hand down here, and it makes switching music an absolute breeze. Power parking brake. Then we do have eSave, our parking assist, and our parking sensors on and off. Love that. Then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Alfa Romeo Tonale, and I tested one at the Chicago Auto Show. It failed, and this one here fails as well. Then we do get a center console and the seats. The seats are finished in this very nice leather. They have the Alfa Romeo logo embossed on the headrest. Or excuse me, it's actually embroidered on the headrest. And I love it. I love these seats. They are somewhat aggressive, but when I'm buying an Alfa Romeo, I want that little bit extra of aggressiveness. Really, really enjoy that Alfa Romeo delivers that to you. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, back seat of the Alfa Romeo Tonale plug-in hybrid. It's not amazing. First of all, the seats are a little hard. Knees are hitting the seat in front of me. This is my driving position. I do have vents back here, which a lot of vehicles in this segment, class and size, don't put rear vents, so I love seeing that. I do get a center console as well, 2 cup holders in there, but overall, this is going to play into my final thoughts we'll talk about in a second, but this is a small vehicle. You have to keep that in mind. If you have a family, I wouldn't recommend driving them around back here. Stellantis has another great product for about the same price, which is the Chrysler Pacifica. Please go check out that video if you have a family. This is not a family-oriented vehicle, so just something to keep in mind. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. So normally for trunk reviews, I have to turn the vehicle off. By the way, that's not flickering in real life. That's just the camera. I normally have to turn the vehicle off for the trunk reviews, but it's electric, so I get to keep it on. There we go, push button down there, and around the back of the Tonale, we do have this little cabinet we can open up here. We don't get a spare tire, but we do get our charger, some roadside assistance things, and actually something I just noticed, it has these little bumps on either side, so you can actually prop that up. So many cars I drive do not have anything like that, so it's really annoying. You're fidgeting with this, cardboard thing and blah, 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 blah. No, Alfa Romeo was like, here, have a little pedestal for it. Make your life easier. And I appreciate that they did so. Other than that, the storage space is pretty good. I would have liked... Oh, I do get a 12-volt outlet that works when the vehicle is on, which is fantastic. Don't really love that this isn't like an old-style bulb, but that's okay. The cargo space is very adequate for the size, and I'm very, very happy with it. Now we got to talk about the looks, and I do really, really like the look of the Tonale. The more I look at it, the more I like it. The headlights, I think, are styled really, really well. I think the back end is sculpted in a good way. And overall, I think it's a very cohesive, small SUV that is very fun to drive. It's going to be great on gas with that 33 miles of all EV. You're going to be filling up at the pump way less than you normally would in any other Tonale or Hornet or Stellantis product for that matter. However, that's sort of bleeding into my final thoughts. Let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Alfa Romeo Tonale? Finally, I've been waiting to drive this vehicle for quite some time. Well, I have to say that I like it a lot. It has a lot of good attributes to it. I think the interior is laid out in a very good way. I like the physical buttons. I like the scroll wheel for the volume knob. I like the paddle shifters. I like the steering wheel. I like the little Alfa Romeo accent. Sort of reminds you you're in something a little bit more special than the other Stellantis products. However, speaking of other Stellantis products, I did drive that Dodge Hornet earlier this year. That was in the mid-30s. This, as it's spec'd, is $55,950, almost $56,000, which, let's be honest, tax title fee, you're up into the 60,000s. And that's where the brakes start to get pumped a little bit for me when it comes to this vehicle. It's a good car. I like it. I've enjoyed my time with it, but I think there's plenty of other cars at that price point that might give you more value. Honestly, just to keep it in Stellantis, the Dodge Hornet is a way better value. Like I mentioned with the driving dynamics, the Dodge Hornet was more fun to drive, and you're going to be saving $20,000 on essentially the same vehicle. Now, it's not going to have that plug-in hybrid technology, which I think is a huge selling point and fantastic that Stellantis and Alfa Romeo is doing, but at the end of the day, and what most EV companies don't want to recognize, is that money talks, money shouts. And so to me, while in my world of worlds would I love a plug-in hybrid as opposed to just a standard gas vehicle, yes, I think it's smart. I think it's the way of the future. But if you're going to throw 20 grand at me, well, I'm going to change my tune a little bit. And so personally, from me to you, I prefer the Dodge Hornet. It's not to say this car is bad. The Dodge Hornet is just better. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Stellantis, of course, Kelly, for letting me take out this Alfa Romeo Tonale. I was so excited to get behind the wheel. I love how it looks, and that has been solidified throughout the making of this video. Huge thank you, of course, to Mama and the CATA for organizing this event that I'm driving the vehicle at. I couldn't have done it without you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.